Hi, my name is Sharon and I'm a storyteller. And I'm going to tell you a story today about friendship. The friendship of two good friends, Mr. Waggle and Mr. Wiggle. And they were what they call thumb friends. But I'm going to sing you a song to start. It goes like this. Tommy thumb, up and down. Tommy thumb, dancing all around. Dancing on our shoulders, dancing on our head, dancing on our knees, and dancing into bed. Oh, we have fingers on the ends of our hands, and thumbs can tell you a lot. They can tell you if they're happy, if they're not so happy. They can tell you where they want to go, this way or that way. And fingers with thumbs can tell you hi or bye. And they can also speak to you, particularly if you can't hear. Well, these two friends, Mr. Waggle and Mr. Wiggle, had been friends for many, many years, and they were the best friends. But Mr. Waggle lived this side of town, and Mr. Wiggle lived this side of town, and they didn't get to see each other often. So, one fine sunny day, like today when the sunshine is out and it's all bright outside, Mr. Wiggle got out of bed, went over to his window and thought, it's so nice today, it's warm and sunny. I know I will go and visit my friend Mr. Waggle. So he went downstairs. He had something to eat. He had his breakfast. He put everything away, opened his front door, went outside, closed it behind him, and he went uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, over the bridge, over the river, and he was soon at the door of Mr. Waggle. Well, he went, knocked on the door, and he waited. No one came to the door. So he knocked on the door again. And he waited for Mr. Waggle to come to the door. But what he didn't know was Mr. Waggle was downstairs in his cellar looking after his potatoes. Oh dear, said Mr. Wiggle. No one's at home. Well, I'll go home and I'll try again later. So he turned around, he crossed over the river, over the bridge, and he went uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill. When he eventually reached his front door, he opened it. He went inside and he went upstairs and went to bed because he was so tired and it had been a long walk. Well, on the other side of town, Mr. Waggle came upstairs and he went to the window in the living room and he looked outside. And he said to himself, it's so nice outside, so sunshiny. Oh, I know what I'll do. I will go and visit my friend Mr. Wiggle. So he opened his front door, he closed it behind him, and he went over the river, over the bridge, uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, and he reached the door of Mr. Wiggle's house. He knocked on the door 3 times, and he waited for someone to come to the door. But no one came to the door. Oh, I'll try again, he said to himself, and he knocked on the door 3 times. And he waited, but Mr. Wiggle did not come to the door because, well, we know, don't we? He was upstairs in bed, fast asleep, and he couldn't hear Mr. Waggle at all. Oh dear, said Mr. Waggle. Well, I know. I will go home and I will try again later. So he turned around and he went uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, over the bridge, over the river, came to his front door, opened it, went inside, boom, and he went to his kitchen and went down and made himself a cup of tea. In the meantime, Mr. Wiggle had woken up. "Ah, I feel so much better," he said. "I know what I'll do. I will go and visit Mr. Waggle again and see if he's at home." So he went downstairs. He had a little something to eat, and he opened his front door, went outside, closed it, boom. And in the meantime, Mr. Waggle, he had had his cup of tea, and he thought, I know, I will go and try see if Mr. Wiggle is at home again. So he put his things away, he opened his front door, and he went outside, boom, closed it, boom. And the two of them started to walk towards each other. Mr. Waggle went over the river, over the bridge, and he started to go uphill and downhill. Mr. Wiggle was going uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill. And they met in the middle of the hill, and they said, "How do you do?" and "How do you do?" as you do when you meet your friends. And they chatted a bit and said, "Oh, we haven't seen each other for a great long time." "Tell you what," said Mr. Waggle, "why don't you come back to my place and we'll have some tea? I have a chocolate cake I have baked, and also I have some crumpets. What do you say to that?" And Mr. Wiggle, who was a bit hungry, said, "Oh, that is absolutely a marvellous idea. Why don't we go home together?" And they did. They turned around and they went uphill and downhill, uphill and downhill, over the bridge, over the river, opened the door to Mr. Waggle's house, went inside, and they had a wonderful time together, drinking tea, eating chocolate cake, eating crumpets, and chat, 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 chat. And that is a story of the friendship of Mr. Waggle and Mr. Wiggle. And that is the end of my story. Thank you very much.